Now it is the time for two next feuilletons. The first one is called Touch Approach by the Pentagon. It is a number that is 362, as counted since July 2017. That is scheduled as a fictional interview of Pentagon spokesman to Zimbabwe Self-Sport magazine. This feuilleton hasn't been published yet and will be released next week in writing. This feuilleton is a total and absolute fictional satire, which is a completely fictitious story, and it should not bear any resemblance or match with practical reality. If anyone finds this material to be any kind of a criticism or likeness or resemblance with the practical reality, that conclusion is completely wrong and misleading and erroneous. That's been written by me, Andrei Hamster Shatalov, and will be narrated by me too. Magazine. Good afternoon. Some sources in Central Asia told us that U.S. federal agent named the Shadow Can, whose business jet Cessna fell and crashed in southern Afghanistan, was U.S. Air Force air reconnoiter and hunter, who was responsible for mortal attacks on dozens of Afghanistan civilians and campaigns, whose resistance to sell U.S. businessmen shares in key railroads lying across the country made many Americans furious. May you comment on this opinion? Pentagon spokesman. These guys put forward this. We told them to keep back. They sent us a kite with negative standoff. We promised them a great duck off. There wasn't any change in their halls. The boss ordered to deploy their abandoned air squad. As we are scared of the UN hound dogs, we forget about F-14s and go airing on Cessna aircrafts. We made it accommodated for our best laser-guided bombs. Then the Shadow King sees them in his air foresight. He goes, BAM! And Afghani geese down stone. The Shadow King goes again, BOOM! The next mother jerker is stiffened. That was a cool journey we took. This thing, the Cessna bomber, we adjusted to drop the babes on 8 towers, is a daisy option. We rave on when we're on its board. Kinky hangout is there guaranteed. Oh, good man. Magazine. Well, I understand the part concerning U.S. elite air covert operations in Afghanistan. Yet, what did happen to the Shadow Can? Pentagon spokesman. The sly kid was spotted by Styria in Pakistan, where he was creeped on a local military airfield. They made a handle for him that the kid towed everywhere. They waited till he drops his next babe on Afghani's clock. He was ambushed by a super Chinese rocket launcher that was impressive among each Harlem dealer who gazed at it. We peeped in such what so-called crap in Beijing and watched the launcher making puff. There was a show I would never forget. Unluckily, the launcher retreated the Cessna super bomber that swooped down and seized the shrine. I felt very sorry for the sly kid. Was it anyhow connected to the successful assassination of a leading Iran's saboteur tapped Soleimani? Pentagon spokesman. Soleimani isn't a handle. That is his real push. I believe that the gooks all are linked to Tehran, though coons may also be attached. I have no damn bloody recollection where I saw a warning that said they had a meet. We agreed to pack gas tough till the croak. I trust this intel. Our hitman in Baghdad did the dispatch all right, man. If Soleimani wasn't a flat talker, he was a drowned that must have hammered on any way. Magazine. Was the US best ever gang tribe called Team 6? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. It was derailed by the gooks in South America in September. An admiral who fostered the team was found folded in a suitcase. The gooks stole his purple star and suspenders embroidered by gilded threads with large diamonds. What has been produced to anyone who is fishy about who got the regional prize? Magazine. Was there at least one officer, a seaman, who survived the train crash? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. No single chap retook their breath. Sorry for their mouths and ribs. The Pentagon sent them flowers to condole over the kid's gun. Magazine. What is the working status in Afghanistan after they shut down the Shadow King? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. We roast the gooks by repeating airstrikes. Plus we are invading Afghanistan by our land forces from three directions, namely Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Pakistan. It is an awful kickover there for us. Magazine. I'm not sure that I got you right. Is there a success? Is there any success or failure through the land operation? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. I must be damned for words. I'm gonna tell the audience here. The entire US military history knew no such screw up. The goose got all our men stabbed with the rocket launchers, where our chips are lying frozen under yards or deep snow, having no sip of orange juice for 10 days. It reminds me of a movie by George Lucas called Star Wars. I watched first time when graduated from the West Point. Our defense secretary bitched that they were short of plastic condoms for glib jerks last month. I wonder what the hell we're gonna do in February? Question mark. Magazine. How many US servicemen have you lost in Afghanistan? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. We flushed our 3rd Infantry and 4th Airborne Division, plus 3 air squadrons were hacked by the gooks on Springfields in India. I'm really sorry for the slough out we took. The Pentagon is ready to atone for the bitch off. We'll let the enemy to do on us. Magazine. Will it be a briefing in the Pentagon at the White House regarding the land operation in Afghanistan? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. I will be wasted, man. Must do a thing right now. Where we're stuck in deep shit. We know nothing how to disassemble. As up. We have a thought. What to do? We will skip to point 2 on a schedule. Magazine. What is a point 2 on a schedule? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. A strip a lady freedom off till each New Yorker gets boshed. Oh man. Magazine. I'm afraid our readers ain't that good at your Navy slang. May you better shape your answers to us, please? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. That isn't a Navy slang. This is a direct literal translation from Hebrew. Magazine. What did these words mean? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. Trump sacked each second dealer of the offices in the Pentagon. It does not matter who is winning the showdown with gooks. We all have taxi drivers on New York lanes till the end of our damn lives. Magazine. In your opinion, is there any chance we could save reputation of the Pentagon now? Question mark. Pentagon spokesman. If we could delve all stiff tourists and find glib condoms to pack them off, I would wash my hands praying God for our salvation till the full reincarnation in heaven. Magazine. Thank you very much, sir, for our official interview that we just conducted with the Pentagon spokesperson. That's all. Okay, now there's a second photo for today. That is called, A Midget Demands More Obedience. That is scheduled as a fictional interview of a political columnist to the magazine. It hasn't been published yet and it will be released next Monday. That is counted as a 363 since July 2017. That was written by me, Andrei Hamster Shatalov, and will be narrated by me too. This material in the following video is a complete satire that is a completely fictional and fictitious. Anyone's opinion that it may bear any major or practical resemblance with reality, real persons or events, must be interpreted as a completely coincidental, random event, and any such persuasion will be absolutely wrong, that it is been any kind of intention to match the practical reality. Magazine. Hi. Many political analysts are watching evolution of Russia's tyranny. Not so many of that group are able to demonstrate how its evolution was correctly predicted by them in the past. Even lesser amount of such scholars are certain about what future is going to be. We are planning to talk with you about fundamentals of Russia's political evolution today. We will intentionally miss many events that seemed key milestones of the past years, giving favor to a general bottom line. Yet, there is a common accord what is such underlying intention or force that drives the country to this time. What is your opinion on this subject? Political columnist. I have a rather straight and uncompromised standpoint on what was the main factor that determined Russia's political evolution over 20 last years. As always, and worldwide, there was a struggle for power, what isn't something new or surprising. However, I find somewhat very special in Russia's political progress. This is extraordinary viability of first rule despite of dramatic negative and adverse changes that happened since Fer ascended its office. In fact, we watch how Fer gains additional privileges and rights against the background of country's collapse and steady motion towards misery and poverty. It may not be explained that easily why and how Russia's led Fer to become more and more powerful, satisfied all his growing appetite for greater national influence, though where his achievements may only be addressed as sad, bad, or terribly negative. Magazine. So I agree, the first rule slides down a slope with greater and greater speed as to discuss results achieved, though this practical outcome definitely contradicts a really well-seen growth of first powers, rights and immunities. Then, my question is for you, why Russians, nevertheless, are ready to entrust greater powers into first hands? Political columnist. Because Fer is a pretty talent in political intrigues and fraud, his main achievements weren't those usually expected by commentators, like economic growth or profusion. He developed an empire of evil mass media, unpierceable censorship and overt lying, where his critics got confused and lost to an unprecedented extent that they seemed to be completely disorientated, duped, and disarranged by first success in delusion thickly spread over the country. Fer lost every essential battle on the international arena where he took part. Although he didn't only retain his power, but despite enlarged and strengthened his influence. This result conflicts with any general logic that we believe exists in modern political world. I have my own idea why Fer has been so trouble-proof and viable. Because he has been very successful in total and unencumbered light concerning each aspect of Russia's life. Another reason is his cynical but truly efficient offer to all dark, criminal, immoral powers to support his reign in exchange for open access of such wicked individuals to key elements of Russia's state jewels and treasury, earlier declared succinct, meticulous, chaste, and sacred. In fact, Fer did what his political father Joseph Stalin only dreamt about. he realized, built up, put into operation Machiavelli's philosophy of the vile state construction, what no one national leader ever could accomplish. Third, there to open Kremlin's gates for worst citizens, who were permitted to plant their mostly challenging and despicable, repellent stances which may be called sheer evil, malice, and spite ever known in the history of state design and construction. First, bylaws are such murky platform that we often are scared to even refer to his inventions, as this may give rise to inadequate interest in Western public. America's rule of law and faithfulness isn't safe from such awful changes, which may be quickly arranged for and incorporated into our system of democratic state and faithfulness, just equity and equality-based state mechanism. The more time went, the more criminal Russia's society became a clear and active danger to any person or country which may be weak in comparison with Russia's militarily, economically. Plus, Russia shows a great level of export of evil views and technologies which get increased every other period. Further, in these political aids, through the gauntlet to all bright, vivid, positive, good words achievements by making open official statements that Russia is happy to be world center of evil, malice, and dark powers. It's been declared that the country may not withstand hypothetical foreign aggression unless it becomes a citadel of injustice, unfaithfulness, unfairness, and tyranny. Scholars who studied similar examples of evil states in the past gave for many advices how to destroy basic elements of human soul, chastity, and good faith by substitution those for open sin, devil's thinking, and theoretical blackness. I can recall no analogous state philosophy which asserted such maxims which contrasted them much with common ideas of happiness, justice, fairness, benevolence, and good faith. I don't hesitate to call modern Russia an epitome of dark rule and kingdom of evil that challenged our best wishes, hopes, and trust. It isn't about our Christian set of views. The same attitude has been manifested by all religious professors who studied current Russia's political and social organization. Recall how Ronald Reagan called the Soviet Union an empire of evil, what many couldn't get as new little but that awful dictatorship. Now, when Russia's ideological dirt and manure flooded over its boundaries, we really fear such evolution that has taken place in this evil country. Magazine. Do you think what percentage of first deadly tricks that caused devastation, decline, debacle, loss, defeat of national interest was officially disclosed to Russian citizens? Political columnist. No, nothing, never. Where Kremlin can't lie about its mouth up by whatever limitations or reasons, they shut each month a news channel that could reveal truth to public about what they forfeited. I don't remember any such case or example in past where a state would dare to so pervert public mass media and freedom of speech, free distribution of data, information, and knowledge that was essential and key element of proper, fair, conscientious, honest, faithful state organization and management. Now, fair, theoretically and administratively attempts to eliminate each independent right for a claim, petition, appeal, complain, as it is interested in making absolute arbitrariness, bureaucracy, red tape, system of no justice and good faith, where any relief may be gained only through favor, grant from a power holder, in spite of true democratic states. Like the USA, where we tend to minimize discretion of a decision or judgment maker by ensuring safeguards, unsurpassable political guidelines, unbreakable limitations on one's ability to intervene into key and indispensable humanitarian and social institutions like human rights, freedom of speech, or ban on racial discrimination. Magazine. Why do you believe? Does FAIR encroach on rights of Russians to self-defend their interests? Question mark. Columnist. It does so as wishes to create an absolute monopoly of power that is the reverse side of coin called decentralization of public freedom. You may not enjoy freedom where can't protect your interests from intrusion or attack done by evil forces. FAIR isn't just concentrating superpowers in his hands. He attempts to deprive each Russian citizen or visitor of their basic human rights by enactment of such social rules and procedures that would inevitably require a claimant to kneel down in front of a state officer, to bow to a bureaucrat in order to defend basic human right, interest, or privilege. Where FAIR has become an ultimate national holder of each power of designation, appointment, nomination, or delegation, it turned into an ultimate emperor, exclusive totalitarian dictator, tyrant, a dark prince of arbitrariness, unfairness, unfaithfulness, injustice, and dishonesty. These steps are for making a big brother tyranny here and now. Magazine. I see your point. The founders of the US Constitution made their best to warn us about danger and attractiveness of tyranny. They wrote a whole lot of books on how freedom and liberty may be defeated by fall a victim of evil, vile mind and malice. I suppose that what we face now in Russia is a sort of renaissance, at the same conflict between freedom and evil monopoly of dark forces over equal access to fruits of civilization. Thank you very much for your views sharing with us.